Everybody, good evening. You're doing a great job here. I want to thank you for all your hard work and what you're doing. I know you still have a ways to go, but our crowd has really increased. But hey, listen, everybody, this is Dr. H. Michael Chitwood coming to you live, and I know that many of you probably aren't up this late at night. But those of you that's up late, join me here as I'm in the Sheraton Hotel and Convention Center here in Arlington, Texas. We are glad to be here, and we're going to have a great crowd tomorrow. As you can see, we have a lot of people that's coming tomorrow to be a part of this great clergy, tax, and law conference. I mean, it's just incredible. This is the type rooms that we need. We don't need tight rooms. We don't need small rooms. We don't need people that have a lack of faith or people with no faith. We need people that's got bold, strong faith. And I just want to thank all of you guys for your hard work tonight. We got a great team here. Becky, Rita, we got Dr. Shaw. I mean, everybody's working hard. Today we had Dr. Martin and Dr. Cook. I mean, we just had everybody working, the lines working everywhere. And I just wanted to come to you with a few tips this evening and let you know that you need to tell your preacher that they need to get their house of worship in order. Because, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to accept it, look around and you're going to see that there's indictments coming. You're going to see that there's going to be sentencing coming. You're going to find out there's going to be a lot of preachers that's going to be in serious trouble. And if we don't get their house in order now, it's possible their churches could be closed. And ladies and gentlemen, we don't want that. We want these churches to be strong, where that they can do what God has called them to do. I'm here at the Sheraton Hotel in Arlington, Texas. We just had a great conference in Houston, Texas, right there at the DoubleTree at the Hobby Airport. We had Dr. Charles Martin. We had Ramona Martin. We had all kind of people that were there today, and our clients. And I got to meet a beautiful lady today, Suzette Soso, who her dad is a large pastor in Texas, and he has a large Hispanic church there. Let me tell you something right now. You need to hear this and hear this clear. There's a lot of Hispanic churches that's getting themselves in trouble because they either don't believe this or they don't understand it. And sometimes you can't get a lot of help from the Internal Revenue Service for that. So what my mission in life is, so you'll know, this is my private family probably, because not many of you would be up this late at night. There's an hour's time difference here. And by the way, it's 37 degrees here, and I don't see anybody post any comments, nobody helping me. But I want you to post up there that they need to get their house of worship in order. And my mission in life is not to scare preachers. There's a lot of firms that try to scare you. They try to get you afraid. I'm not trying to scare anybody. But there's an old saying that says, if the shoe fits, wear it. Has anybody heard that? So it's very important that you let everybody know. Pastors, when you post on your Twitter page, and by the way, all of you should connect with me on your Twitter page if you're not there. You should connect with me on my Facebook. I have 38 social media pages. You need to be on every one of these pages, because my mission in life, and I want you to hear this so you can help me get out my passion and my mission, is to help pastors get their house in order and take this load and this strain and stress off of them so that they can really do what God has called them to do. And what is that? They've been called to preach the gospel, which is the good news, to every person out there so their life can change and be better. Do you agree with that? If you do, would you just say yes? Because somebody just put up yes. I know we don't have many with us, and I know the directors are calling me in there, but just wait a minute. Go ahead and set up all the cameras, and well, we only have two, to be honest with you, but set up the cameras and set up the lights and so forth, and I'll be there in a minute. But I want to finish this little broadcast with you here. I don't come to you very often, but I wanted to let you know that my passion in life is to help preachers. I'm your friend. I'm a preacher's friend. And listen, every client is important to Dr. Michael Chitwood, because I am the authority on churches and nonprofits, period. Nobody can touch us, because we've done this for 81 years this coming September. We know everything they do wrong, and we know everything that they do good. So we want you to know that we're on your side from start to finish. We're not going to give up and give in. We're going to fight for you until the end. We want you to have every... You know what? I felt led to say this to some preacher that may be watching. I don't even know if there's any preachers watching or not, but I felt led to say this. You know what I really want you to do? I want you to know that we're here to take this off of you, because it's a big strain and stress on many preachers. They're always worried. We had one pastor that was just sentenced to 60 months in the federal penitentiary, and it was all because of his bookkeeper. His bookkeeper did everything wrong. And of course, the government starts, pitting this one against that one, and they really left a lot of things out that shouldn't have been put on the pastor. But he was found guilty by a jury, and the judge has now sentenced him to 60 months. And it's not right. It's not right. And I'm going to tell you right now, these churches and these pastors, they better not put a price tag on compliance. And you better understand that cheap advice is expensive. You normally pay for what you get. I wish somebody could put that up. Cheap advice is expensive. And I would be calling your names, but I left my glasses up in the room. I'm on the convention side of the hotel, and I don't have my glasses, so I can't see your names, so I'm sorry about that. But remember that cheap advice is expensive. You normally pay for what you get. Cheap advice is expensive. So you don't want to put a price tag on this and be cheap about this. And remember, ignorance is no excuse. No matter what someone tells you. And you know what the biggest problem is? A preacher heard it from another preacher, and that preacher heard it at some convention from another preacher. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Just because a preacher said it to another preacher and that preacher said it to you, who you're a preacher, that doesn't make it right. Don't put a price tag on compliance and your freedom. You don't want to do that, because you're no good to us locked up in a federal penitentiary. We need you out preaching the gospel of this good news that's been brought to us. And I'll tell you right now, if I hadn't have heard the good news when I was just a young man at youth camp, I probably wouldn't have given my heart to the Lord Jesus Christ when I did. But I gave my heart to the Lord Jesus Christ when I was 12 years of age. My family's always represented churches and nonprofit organizations. And all we want to do is give you the freedom so that you can do what you do best. And let me say it a little different. Why don't you keep your nose out of compliance and the business affairs? Do what you need to do and hire me. You don't even need a bookkeeper. I can do everything in your ministry. I can do everything in your ministry. We have bookkeepers waiting right now to work for you. And I really appreciate you guys putting up these hearts tonight, because I didn't think there'd be anybody up this late at night, to be honest with you. But we're here in Arlington, Texas at the Sheraton Hotel. We have a big conference here tomorrow. I think we have, hundreds and hundreds of people coming tomorrow that's going to be a part of this conference. So I just wanted to come to you and just tell you where I'm at and tell you what I'm doing, kind of keep you updated, because this is going to be a great conference tomorrow. We also are providing lunch for all the people. By the way, if you're watching this or your pastor, send him a text and tell him, say, hey, you need to get over to the conference tomorrow. Let me show you where we're going to be tomorrow. They've got some of it set up, but this is going to be the room that we're going to be in. You can see that we've got a very large crowd of people. They've got these tables that have to go in here yet, but we're trying to section this off so you didn't have these long aisles, because if somebody needs to get out, we wanted it to be pretty quick. So we revised all this. See, you can see all this. I'll kind of shoot you a shot there. See, this is a room that we're going to be in. These are great men and women of God that's coming that want to get their house in order. They've heard about some preachers that's been incarcerated. They've heard about some preachers that's going through some criminal things. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is much more serious than what you think. This is an attack. This is spiritual warfare. And you need, just like the parking lot tax. They've got this parking lot tax, which has just been released, and that's a direct entry to churches to be taxed. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to hear this. I believe that this is a spiritual warfare and a battle that we're in. Now, you can either take that and pray about it and help us get the word out, or you can just take that and not believe it. I want you to hear it, then I want you to believe it, okay? I'm Michael Chitwood. I'm here live. I'm up in the convention center here because we've just about got all this, because they're putting our tables out now. We're going to have to eat lunch all down through here. Let me show you that real quick, because I'd just like for you to see once in a while what we do. I mean, we're still here working at midnight. Look at all these tables they're putting out. These are our great staff workers here. That young man there, Jose Haygood, and Alberto down there. So they're putting all these tables out here. This is where we're going to be having lunch. We've got our great lunch down here. We're going to be big lunch here. People will be eating lunch here. They'll put Nice tablecloths. In fact, they're doing that right now. You see, all these chairs are going to be lined up out here. We'll be having a nice lunch out here. And then we'll be moving to the Wilmington room. Wilmington. I think that's the way you say it. In fact, it's right here. This is the Wilmington room right here we're going to be moving to. And that will be for our private session tomorrow with our special VIP pastors. I really hope that you will connect with me because I am the authority on churches and nonprofits. And I would love the opportunity to help you get your house of worship in order and keep your house of worship in order. I think you'll find out that I'll keep every T crossed and every I dotted so that you'll never have another worry about your books being done right. Remember, cheap advice is expensive. You normally pay for what you get. And remember that ignorance is no excuse. I want you to know that the Chitwood Firm is here to help you. And every client of mine is important to me. I appreciate the opportunity to serve my clients, and I would appreciate the opportunity to serve you. This is what we do. This is our life. This is our passion. So I just pray that you will give me the opportunity to prove myself to you. Let me prove ourselves. We have 81 years of a track record of representing churches and nonprofit organizations. So let me give you a couple of things. There's Mary Albert. Thanks, Mary. I see yours because it's big. Let me say this. I want you to go to cmtc.org. cmtc.org. Look us over and listen to some of the testimonies. They're only about 30, 40-second testimonies. I want you to join me on Facebook. And they'll probably put that up in a minute. I think that Debbie's with me tonight, so she'll put that up in just a minute. But you need to go to Facebook and be a part there. It looks like Haney. No, Nancy. Some of this, if I turn it the right way, I'm sorry I forgot my glasses. Yeah, that's good, yeah. No, you'll probably have to put 8 to a table. Or 6, okay, good, 6, okay. They're going to put 6 to a table for our lunch tomorrow. We provide lunches to these pastors and church workers when they come to our conferences. We're the only ones that do that. This other organization, they send you out to get a burger. We give you a nice lunch because I like to meet you and talk to you. I like the fellowship, and I want to make sure that I'm able to talk to you and I'm able to, visit with you and get to know you. I'm a relational person. I need a relationship with you. And by the way, there's Twitter at Clergy Tax and Law, at Clergy Tax and Law. You can go to at Clergy Tax and Law. Thank you, Debbie. And we want to help you in every area of your life. Listen, we want to record your envelopes. We want to do your payroll. We want to do your bookkeeping, your compliance. We do all of that for you. Outsource that stuff out of your church. I'm telling you, you don't want it in your church because the bookkeeper you have is not a bookkeeper. She's probably nothing but a check writer, and I say that respectfully, not to hurt her. But this bookkeeper that actually did damage to this pastor in a great, great way. She really wasn't a bookkeeper. She was just a check writer that made the pastor think she was a bookkeeper. And for that, the pastor has got himself in a little bit of a bind. We're praying and believing that God's going to turn things around. We believe that. And you be praying for us too, because we want the best. Remember, the best is yet to come. The worst is over, and the best is yet to come. So just remember, connect with me on Facebook. Facebook me. Ask me to be your friend, and I'll friend you back. And then I'll ask you to be my friend. I have several Facebooks there, and you can just go to those. We also have a Hispanic Facebook for all of our Spanish clients. We have hundreds and hundreds of Hispanic churches, and we want to be a part of your ministry. I just pray that the Lord will continue to bless you in every effort that you do. Pastors, evangelists, apostles, prophets, teachers, they are very much needed in this land today. I think you'd agree with me. And I just pray that you would join in me with prayer that these pastors that's coming tomorrow will be able to hear and be able to change. The big problem that they have, to be perfectly honest with you, is they say, well, we're not going to do it this way because we've always been used to doing it that way. It's a tradition. Of course, the Bible's clear, says that the traditions of men will make the word of God of no effect. And let me assure you something, the IRS is not a respecter of persons. The IRS is not a respecter of pastors. If you break the law, according to Romans chapter 1 through 8, according to chapter 13, 1 through 8, it says, obey the laws of the land, submit yourselves to the governing authorities. And the next verse says, render to Caesar that which is Caesar's. And I just think that it's an opportunity for you to get your house of worship in order. And I just was wondering, how many of you believe that churches should be in order? If you want to put just yes on the screen, but don't you think churches should be in order? Not paying cash out of the back door and hiding things that you should. Well, you know what? If you do it wrong, eventually there they go. See, yes, yes, yes. I believe they should be. Every one of these churches, every one of these great people here tonight are testifying that they believe that churches should have their books in order. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage you. Post this on your Twitter page. Post it on Facebook. Post it on everything you can that Dr. Chitwood is the authority on helping churches and nonprofit and ministers, and it's what we do. We're going to face it, fix it, and forget it. I don't care what you've done wrong. I'm going to fix it. I can fix it. Now, what you shouldn't do is try to hire me after you get indicted or hire me after you get yourself in trouble. You should have hired me years ago, and now you have a chance for me to clean up for 7 years back. Get yourself cleaned up. Do y'all agree with that? You can't hire me after it's too late. That's why you need to hire me now. Face it, fix it, and forget it. I want to take this stress and worry off of the man of God and the woman of God, because I'm the best, because I know what to do. And I don't say that in a bragging, boastful way. I say that very humbly, because I thank the Lord every day. And today when I started, I said, we want to start, and I went through the preliminaries. I said, now, I want to take just a moment and thank the Lord Jesus Christ for our ministry. We thank the Lord for the opportunity to serve churches, represent churches. We talk about our 4 generations. We talk about 81 years of doing this, that God gave us the desire. You know, we're the largest in the nation, and we know what we're doing. There's a lot of these organizations and firms that call themselves experts, and ladies and gentlemen, a lot of them just copied my material. And you know, when you just copy somebody's sermon or copy somebody's message, there's nothing that you can do about it, but you need to know that they're just saying what I said. They don't really know the basis and the foundation. They couldn't go to court with you if they had to. They're not an IRS enrolled agent. They can't do that. So there's no help that they can really give you if you get caught. And I want you to check out who's doing your books. I'm telling you right now, there's some out there that I know. There's a lot of these firms out there that's in serious trouble. And what they're doing is they drop their clients that have problems when the IRS comes. I'm not going to do that. When the IRS comes to see you, you tell them that you're represented by Chitwood and Chitwood, and then you hand them the proper documentation where they'll call us and leave you alone. All right, I think we've had enough of this stuff tonight. I don't normally talk about the IRS and churches and nonprofits and ministries and things like that. I normally talk to you about wealth tips. I'll do that later, not tonight, but later on. But I'm preparing tonight here in this great hotel in Arlington, Texas. I thought I was in Arlington, Virginia. I go so many places. Last week I was in New York, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. Had great conferences there too. And we had a great conference today in Houston. But I'm here in Arlington, Texas at the Sheraton Hotel and Convention Center. And if you want to come to this conference tomorrow, send your pastor a text. Well, I take that back. I doubt if many of you even have your pastor's number. I'm a little different. All my church members, they have my phone number so they can get in touch with their pastor. But a lot of pastors don't want their number out. By the way, be sure you're in prayer. We have several of our clients at the day of prayer tomorrow. Or maybe it's the next day. When is it? The next day or the day after? But Lee Valentine's there, by the way. Paula White's there today. Pastor Robert Jeffers is there today. They're already at the Trump Plaza Hotel in Washington, D.C. I've received phone calls from them. So they're getting ready to go to the, what is that called? Does anybody know, the day of prayer or something? I've been to several of those. They're great, but this time I couldn't go because I was here in Arlington, Texas. So keep this nation in your prayers, and I'm asking you this evening to pray for us. The day of prayer. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the day of prayer. I mean, after all, I've been going 19 hours, okay? I've been up since 5 this morning. You want to calculate that? You know, 5 to 5 is 12, and it's what, 12 now? So you could add 5 or 6 to it, so I'm about 19 hours already. But we're here to help pastors, and I want you to promise me that you'll help get the word out. Can I have your commitment on that? Post it on your Twitter page. Hire Chitwood and Chitwood before it's too late. We've got to be bold with this. You're doing God a great. You're helping the Lord and helping the ministry when you do that. So they need to know that they better get their stuff in order, and tell them on your Twitter page, on Facebook page that you've got. Many of you got Facebook pages, LinkedIn, Instagram. Many of you are on there. You need to put out an all points bulletin and say, look, this is the time that you need to hire the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood, with Chitwood and Chitwood, to get your books and your house in order. And there's a very important reason for that. It's not just the IRS. That's very important because you don't want to get yourself in trouble. But remember this, God cannot bless a mess. And you can never ask God for more increase in your life if you're living a life that's illegal and out of compliance. God doesn't operate that way. He says, to whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. And he also says, if I can just learn to trust you with a few small things, then I'll know I can trust you with great and mighty things. Churches and pastors, if you're not growing, there's a reason, and it's not because the word's not anointed and you're not anointed to preach it. It's because your books are out of order. So I'm asking you tonight, post it on your Facebook. Don't be afraid to say, look, churches, the IRS is coming after churches and ministers like never before. It's like they've had an onslaught with them. So it's important that you post it. Say, look, call Chitwood. Put my phone number up there if you want to. I've got to do something to relieve this burden from me, because I know that pastors are going to jail. I know that pastors are losing their ministry. And when they go to jail, they can't preach the gospel. They can't help people. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not what it's all about. So would you help me help them? You would be a outreach ministry of Chitwood and Chitwood. So here I go. I'm going to deputize each and every one of you great followers right now. And I'm deputizing you to put on your Facebook page. I'm deputizing you to, there's Ethel, I can see her name. When you come on, I can kind of see your name. We've got several great people here with us. Hi, Ethel, hope you're doing well from Fort Lauderdale. There's Nancy, I can see it when you log on. It's bigger than when you're posting. So I'm going to deputize each, and there's Debbie Booth, my executive broadcast director from day one. Wouldn't have anybody else handling my social media sites and pages. 38 of those, she handles all of them. Debbie, thank you for your work. So I'm deputizing each one of you. Raise your hand. I solemnly promise to put the word out that churches and ministers and nonprofits need to get their books and financial records in order. And I solemnly promise now to Dr. Chitwood and to God that I'm going to put the word out through Twitter, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, Instagram, or Tumblr. Any way you can get it out there, get it out there. And I believe that God will bless you and reward you for what you do concerning his business. This is Michael Chitwood. I'm coming to you live this evening with all you great people. And I love you so much, by the way. You're my passion. I love you. And I love to talk to you. I can just open up and talk to you, just like I'm sitting right there across from you in your living room or your house. I just want to thank you for the love that you send back to me. All those beautiful hearts you're sending up, that touches me. And it actually gives me a burst of energy. Tonight, there's Molly White. She's over in Austin. That gives me a burst of energy to, hey, let's keep moving forward. Even though our body's tired, we've got to keep moving forward. So I want to thank you very much for your love, your kindness. I want to thank you for all that you do for Chitwood and Chitwood. But now it's time for you to take action. Don't forget this. Put up a little post on your Twitter. Churches and ministers are being attacked by the IRS. Call Chitwood, the dog walker guy. Hello, the dog walker guy. Good to see you tonight. I can see you on there. So put this on your Twitter. Put this on your Facebook. Put it on LinkedIn. And just a little blurb. You don't want to scare them, but you just need to let them know that the IRS is requiring a higher level of compliance with churches and ministers and nonprofits, and say, call Dr. Chitwood. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for that. Look at that. Wow. How do you do that? Get that. That's great. I like that. Very creative. Thank you. But we need to do this, don't you think? I mean, because they just have a lack of knowledge. ladies and gentlemen, they just have a lack of knowledge. They're out preaching. They don't have time to watch their bookkeeper. And this bookkeeper for this pastor, I'll tell you the truth about it. She did a lot of things that was wrong. A lot of things that was wrong. And then she tried to blame it on the pastor. And unfortunately, the IRS, I guess, believed her, and the jury believed her. So they found this great man of God guilty on, I think it's 6, 7, 8 counts. And the judge sentenced him to 60 months in a federal penitentiary. It broke my heart. It broke my heart. I just wish that I had worked for him back in those years. Now, I work for him now, but I didn't work for him back in those years. He didn't hire us. In fact, he didn't hire us because one of his board members said that we were too expensive. And I don't want to call his name because he's probably a great board member, I guess, but this is a great pastor. He's a great evangelist, and I have a lot of respect and love for him. And I just want us to be in prayer for preachers and ministers. We need them bad. We need them. Listen, anytime that they now can kill a baby after the lady has been dilated and the baby's been born, ladies and gentlemen, there's something wrong. I mean, there's something wrong. Can anybody agree with me? There's something wrong. Instead of some of these lady preachers and some of these men preachers talking about how to get motivated, I tell you what motivates me. When I see that New York has passed a law that when the lady is dilated and she has a baby, and the baby's born, and they want to keep the baby comfortable while the mother talks to the doctor to see if they want to keep the baby or kill the baby, that motivates me that we need more preachers in the United States and maybe around the world than we've ever had before. So would you keep me in your prayers? If you'll pray for me, would you just put yes on the screen for me in my comment section? Because I'm asking for your prayers. I'm not so high and mighty type preacher guy that don't need your prayers. I need your prayers. I appreciate those hearts. I appreciate all them super hearts. And I want you to know, and thank you. I see so many yeses going up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that just blesses me that you'll be praying for me, your friend, Michael Chitwood. I'm coming to you tonight from Arlington, Texas. I'm here at the Sheraton Hotel. And I just want to remind you that when you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. I look forward to seeing you and talking to you later. God bless each and every one of you. And thank you for putting the word out on your Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram and LinkedIn that these churches and preachers better get their house of worship in order. God bless you. I'll be back in the great state of Tennessee tomorrow night. We'll take off in our plane and get back in Tennessee, and then I'll be in the office bright and early on Saturday morning. So I look forward to seeing you then, okay? God bless you. I hate to cut you off because y'all got so many beautiful hearts going up, but I got to get down here and kind of get to work and help these guys kind of set. I'm not setting up the room. That we have the people that do that, but our engagement system that we have there. So we've got some things there at Nancy. Oh, there we go, at Nancy _J. Hello. Okay. Well, hello to you there. Good evening to you. Oh, you've got so many beautiful hearts. I could just stand here and hold this thing while you're putting up those hearts. Those hearts just really just, I don't know. Just so many beautiful people that's just putting up those. Look at those hearts. I mean, those hearts are flying up. I don't think I've ever seen that many hearts go up for me. I think y'all are just helping me tonight a lot. So thank you very much. All right. I'm going to have to cut you off because I can't keep it in. I'm sorry I can't see some of these names. You know how you have to look back. I only wear glasses to read, by the way. I don't wear glasses. That's Russ Shackelford. Hey, Russ, how are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well, sir. Good to have you with us. What we're doing is trying to help churches and pastors and ministers and nonprofits, deacons, trustees, and elders of the church get your house of worship in order. Remember, ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance is no excuse. Okay. Thank you very much for your time this evening. I love each and every one of you. I'm praying for you, and I thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your beautiful hearts. I'll see you guys later, okay? I sure love you, okay? I'll see you later. Bye.